Hello all and welcome to Digital Report channel. Tata Group, founded almost 2 centuries ago, this industrial conglomerate has been a driving force behind India's rise on the global stage. From engineering to aviation, steel to chemicals, and information technology to auto sector, the Tata Group has a finger in every pie and continues to dominate the market. The history of Tata started during British colonial rule. In 1868, at the age of 29, Jamshedji Tata, after gaining experience working with his father, established a trading business with an initial investment of 21,000 rupees. In 1869, he made his first move into textiles. He acquired a bankrupt oil mill in the industrial heart of Bombay and converted into cotton mill. 2 years later, he sold it for a significant profit to a local cotton merchant. After visiting England, studying the Lancashire cotton trade, and being impressed by the quality of men, machinery, and produce, Jamshedji believed he could replicate the story in his own country and beat the colonial masters at the game they had rigged to their advantage. On January 1, 1877, his new venture, Empress Mills, came into existence in Nagpur. His textile plant was exceptional, and he also cared for his workers by installing the first humidifiers and fire sprinklers in India. He enacted policies that were virtually unknown to most of India, like offering sickness benefits and pensions to his employees. He was decades ahead of his time and miles ahead of his competitors. The Empress Mill experiment showed that not only profits but people mattered to him. But Jamshedji was not content with just the textile industry. He saw the wonders of Industrial Revolution in Europe, and he wanted to replicate them in his home country. In 1901, he began working on a steel production plant modeled after German ones. Even more ambitious was his hydroelectric project, inspired by his visit to the Niagara Falls power plant in 1903. He also recognized the potential of tourism and created a chain of hotels, starting with the iconic Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Mumbai. Sadly, he did not live to see most of his project realized as he passed away during a business trip in 1904, leaving the Tata Company to his 2 sons. The sons of Jamshedji succeeded in realizing many of their father's aspirations by overseeing the establishment of India's first steel plant in 1907, India's first cement plant in 1912, and the first indigenous insurance company in 1919. The Indian Institute of Science is established in Bengaluru through the vision of Jamshedji Tata 5 years after his death. The first batch of students is admitted in 1911. By the time the leadership passed on to the next generation in 1938, Tata Group had 14 different companies. This time, instead of being passed on to one of Jamshedji's grandson, the leadership of Tata went to a distant cousin with an interesting background. Jahangir Tata, famously known as JRD, has been in the company since 1925. He is a passionate aviator, and in 1929 he obtained India's first pilot license. So, unsurprisingly, one of his first major projects at Tata Group was to establish an airline. In 1932, he established Tata Air Service, which initially transported mail, but later in 1938, it started to offer passenger flights and even supported the British during World War II. One might think that India's independence in 1947 would have benefited Tata Group, but the socialist policies of the new government were in conflict with private enterprises. India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, recognized the success of JRD's airline, and in 1953, he decided to nationalize it by passing Air Corporations Act in Parliament. JRD was kept as the chairman of the airline until 1977. After he left, the company's financial situation deteriorated and it struggled with growing debt. JRD did not let politics interfere with business, so he attempted to expand Tata while avoiding conflict with the socialist government. In 1945, JRD established Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company with the initial aim of constructing locomotives. But in 1954, he expanded into the commercial vehicle sector through a collaboration with the German firm Daimler. It was renamed as Tata Motors in the year 2003. In 1968, the group added yet another feather to its hat by setting up India's first software services company, Tata Consultancy Services. It is a truly global enterprise with a presence in 46 countries. Today, TCS became the most valuable bid in Tata Group empire, and it is also the largest private employer with over 500,000 employees. Over the course of his 52 years of leadership, JRD expanded the Tata Group from 14 companies in 1938 to 95 companies in 1991. Till date, JRD is the longest serving chairman of Tata Group. In 1991, the Tata Group was facing financial difficulties and a leadership crisis, with the previous chairman JRD Tata having stepped down due to health reasons. Ratan Tata, one of Jamshedji's great-grandsons, claimed leadership of the Tata Group. This was also a time India was undergoing a period of economic liberalization and shifting away from a socialist government. This presented a big threat to Tata. Up until now, it has operated in a very protected economy, which was suddenly open to competition from foreign companies. In 1990s, pretty much every Tata company was losing ground to international competitors. To address this challenge, Ratan Tata came up with a brilliant solution to acquire and integrate foreign competitors into the Tata Group, which in turn helped to strengthen the group's business back in India and expand its international presence. Ratan's buying spree began in the year 2000 when his beverage company Tata Tea acquired the Tetley company from Great Britain. Over the next decade, Ratan ended up acquiring hundreds of companies for pretty much every subsidiary in the Tata Group. One of the most notable acquisitions made by Ratan Tata during his tenure as chairman was the purchase of European steel company Corus for $12 billion in 2007, and then later the luxury car brands Jaguar and Land Rover for $2 billion in 2008. The international buying spree has been paying dividends for Tata, and today most of the group's revenue come from outside of India. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel and hit the like button.